Michigan Prepared here. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty good. A couple things going on I wanted to talk to you guys about. First one is yesterday I learned that a Russian nuclear sub was within 24 miles of, from what I could gather, looked to be Florida, so to speak. Roughly that area. And that's not good because Russia has been threatening about, you know, if they light off a nuke underwater, it's going to cause a tsunami, which would absolutely bury Florida. So the Russians are making moves, probably because we're sending hundreds of tanks. Well, all the NATO and all the surrounding NATO allies and NATO countries are sending a bunch of tanks over to Ukraine. And Russia's not happy about it. Again, that's another red line that we're crossing, so that's not good. So I'm keeping my eye on that for you guys, seeing what's going on. Russia has been making a lot of moves with their nuclear subs, so at any point in time, anything is possible. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was, you know how I've been talking about these attacks on the power grid and whatever else? Well, the FBI within the last 3 to 5 days has come out and basically said that there's extremist groups that are purposely targeting the grid, you know, like anti-government groups, racially profiled groups, you know, white supremacist groups. They're all trying to take out the government, guys, and I guess according to some of the info that has been found or whatever, or linked to some of these extremist groups, basically says that if they take out the power grid, bring down the government, stop the financial sector and everything else, it's going to bring the government to its knees, which is a good possibility. Now, there's been since the last time I reported to you guys on this, there's been several more attacks, attempted attacks and attacks on substations. Now, the problem with this is these extremist groups are calling for a mass, I don't know, they got something massive planned. And if you guys remember last time I reported to you on this, I was telling you that there's like 52 or 54,000 substations across the U.S., something like that. I know it's under 60, but it's in the 50s. So don't quote me on the exact number because I can't remember the exact number. But either way, 50-some thousand substations across the U.S. Now that might seem like a lot, but like I was telling you guys before, that I think a total of only 9 to 12 different places need to be taken out. And if that happens, it literally blacks out the entire U.S. and parts of Canada. So I don't know if these extremist groups are doing their homework and trying to figure out which one, you know, which substations are the most critical and whatever else. I'm pretty sure the government is putting in, you know, higher tech cameras, security alarms, and hell, I don't know. They might even be paying to, you know, start posting security guards on site. The problem with that is a lot of these substations and transformers and whatever else can be taken out from a distance with high-powered rifles. Now, you know, if you got a 50 BMG, well, hell, you could probably take out a substation from 3,000 yards. So, you know, somebody, a security guard posted up at a substation isn't going to know, isn't even going to hear the shot from 3,000 yards away until that bullet strikes the power grid. And by the time he calls it in, if you're 3,000 yards away, you're long gone. So, I mean, the chances of this happening at this moment in time are highly likely. Like I said, there's a lot of anti-government groups that are dying to take out the grid and put us in the dark ages. And if they hit the right substations, you know, it's going to take out a lot of stuff. This idiot was trying to back right into traffic. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, so yeah, you take out the right number or right sequence of substations, and it's going to cause a lot, and I mean a lot of damage, to where it's going to be years before this stuff is back up online. Again, we get most of our transformers and transformer parts from China, guys. And right now, we're not trading with China. China does not like us. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're trading on certain things or whatever, but sorry guys, I'm making a turn, watching traffic. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're trading on certain goods. For whatever reason, like pharmaceuticals and stuff, China's holding back on. And it's probably just hurt the U.S. Which, I mean, it's war. It is what it is. So the fact that we got these extremist groups, at least that's what the government's calling it. That's what the FBI is coming out and saying. But we already know how far we can trust what they say. Just like, the lockdowns a couple years ago, a lot of people are saying that was a trial run for something bigger about to come, because the government's all about control. They've been getting so power hungry over the years that it's not even funny. And I mean, it's like a little kid lying. He broke mom's favorite vase, and then turning around and blaming it on his brother, and what do you believe? It's hard to believe anything anymore that you hear from anybody. So, I don't know, guys. I've preached it a lot. Have cash on hand, guys. You're going to need it. Have an alternative form of electricity, whether it be a gas generator, dual purpose, whether it be gas, propane, combo, maybe some solar, something. You guys are going to need something. Because from the reports that I'm hearing, it doesn't look like these extremist groups are going to slow down anytime soon. As a matter of fact, they're ramping up in power, and they have been for a minute now. And right now, the FBI, if it really is the FBI, is basically saying that they're just kind of testing the waters at the moment. When it's time to strike, they're going to strike, and we're going to be in the dark. No heat, no electricity. I mean, it's unless you got some sort of like a gas boiler system in your house that doesn't need electricity. Of course, then again, if they wipe out the grid across the country, well, then the gas companies, natural gas, is not going to have, their pumps are going to be offline. So that natural gas is only going to last a little while as well. So stock up on your propane, guys. It's a couple $100 for a 100-pound propane cylinder, and I don't know what it costs to have it filled, but I'm thinking about stocking up on a couple myself. 400 pounds of propane. My mom's got a one of those big old 400 pounders out behind her house, and that lasts her all winter. So I mean, just having that extra propane on hand to get you guys through. It's not very hard to convert if you have a gas stove. It's not very hard to convert it over to propane. As a matter of fact, it will run on propane. I don't think you'd be able to use the oven because it's not going to run as efficiently. It's going to run different because the burners in there are set up for natural gas, not propane. But it will work. And same with your hot water heater, guys. As long as it's you don't need electricity to control anything, you could plumb in a line to your hot water heater if you just went and got a propane conversion and changed out the burner. It's really easy to do. But I would stock up. These extremist groups, they're coming out of the woodwork. And again, I'm not going to speculate. I mean, it could be any number of things, guys. Well, I guess I am kind of speculating, but it could be any number of things. Again, the lockdowns a couple years ago, you know, all the experts are saying that was just a trial run for something bigger to come. So, is it really the government at hand here? Are they going to really be just flipping the switch and putting the U.S. in the dark because we don't want to conform to their ideologies? Is it terrorist cells that, because the southern borders are open, they were allowed to flow through undetected? And the terrorist cells are the ones, you know, at play here, taking out our power grids, and the government doesn't want to admit that, you know, they screwed up and let these terrorist cells come through? Or is it really these extremist groups? There's several different options, and I'm not leaning heavy on any one of them because they're all very plausible. So yeah, definitely stock up on your shelf-stable food, guys. Unless you got a way to keep your fridge and freezer running for a long duration after the power goes out, you know, then your fresh foods might be good. But I would still stock up on as much shelf-stable food as you can. Stock up on alternative heating, alternative electricity means, whatever you guys can do. Because not only do we got to worry about potential EMP from Russia and China and North Korea and Iran and whatever else, but now we got to worry about these groups. We're just going to call them groups because I don't know which group it is. Could be the government group, could be terrorist cell groups that came across the southern border, or it could be extremist groups within the U.S. here. Don't really know. Anyway, guys, yeah, it's time to get stocked up. The fact that Russia's got its nuclear subs really close to the U.S., I mean, it's within the treaty. You can't be within 22 miles with a naval ship or submarine of a opposing country's borders. You have to be at least 22 miles away into international waters, I guess is what they call it. So Russia was pushing its luck, being just an extra 2 miles out. They were only 24 miles away, according to what I've been reading. And they didn't have just one. I think they had another nuclear sub somewhere up by Alaska. But either way, they had one down by Florida also. And it's one of their newer nuclear subs, so the nuclear torpedoes that they have on that thing, just one of them can cause one hell of a tsunami. One hell of a tsunami. And I think it can carry up to like 15, maybe 20. So I can't remember exactly how many that sub can carry, but it's insane. Can you imagine? It's time to get stocked up, guys. And another prepper channel had a great point also. Before you guys go shopping, make sure your phones are fully charged. And I'll get to that here in a second. But when you go grocery shopping, when you walk to the back of the store, usually the meat or bread is usually kept at the back of the store. In most cases, anyway. When you're back there, check out every exit possibility. Yeah, you might have to go through the double doors that nobody goes through to find an emergency exit. Basically, the warehouse portion of the store. But make sure you know where all the exits are. Because if power goes out, there's a good likelihood that, you know, people could panic, especially if it's like an EMP type thing, and everybody gets alerts on their phone, and then bam, power's out. There's going to be a mass stampede. Now, the reason why you're going to want to make sure your phone is fully charged before you go shopping is because people's everyday carry on flashlights is typically just their phone. They don't usually have a flashlight in their pocket. Now, I carry one everywhere because I prep. But if the power goes out and you're in an unfamiliar storeroom of, say, like Walmart, are you going to know where to go? No. And if your battery is only at 10-15% and you need your flashlight, I know some phones, it won't even turn on the flashlight when the battery's that low. But is that going to be enough power to light the way until you can get out? Who knows? But make sure you guys know where the exits are. Make sure your phone is charged in case you need your flashlight in an emergency. I mean, granted, if you're at Walmart, there's flashlights everywhere. You probably just go snag one. Depending on what's happening in the store. Again, if there's mass chaos and people are stampeding, that's probably not going to be an option. You pull your cell phone out of your pocket and get the hell out of there. But yeah, that's all I got for you today, guys, is you just really need to be alert. These extremist groups, whoever may be controlling them, let's say, they're really, really, really ramping up their attacks. And, one report was saying that they could, or within the next couple of years, that they're just going to get stronger and stronger. Well, I personally, guys, I don't believe that it's going to be years and years. Well, within the next few years. I think it's going to be soon. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. But I'm ready if I'm not. But they're saying it could be within the next few years that they really pull all the strings and they really put the U.S. into the dark. I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it's going to be sometime here in 23. Because they're hell-bent on, like I said, shutting down the government. So, just extreme anti-government groups, according to what I've been reading. Again, it could be the government itself. I don't know. And they're just throwing out BS because they're going to want to put us in the dark to make us to conform to, their ideology or whatever. Basically, make us beg them for help and whatever. I don't know. Any possibility is a possibility at this point in time. Either way, guys, I'm rambling now. You guys need to be ready. I love you all. Stay safe. Make sure you get stocked up. Keep your heads on a swivel. With that being said, till next time, guys, Michigan Prepared out.